Hello YouTube audience. Today is August 28th, 2020, and today I would like to work on this Japanese maple, Ukigumo, which means floating cloud. You can see the characteristic of this tree is green leaf with white specks on it, and some of them are not just white but also a little bit pink, and when it become more and more matured, the whole tree would become this green, white and pink color. So currently this is still a young tree, so you can still see a lot of leaves that's still just green. But when it become more and more mature, it's going to become more and more beautiful, the leaves. And this is a nursery stock that I purchased last fall. And basically it was a grafted tree. You can see the union here, and it grow and grow, and upon someone top this tree here, and multiple shoots come out from the top, and several long shoots come out lower than the lower, and go very long, and the whole tree is probably 4 or 5 feet tall. So I'm in an effort to turn this tree into bonsais. I did 2 air layering early June this year, and you can see it is already full of roots now. So I think it's a good time to separate the air layering. So the way I look at this tree, of course, we're not going to take the whole tree as a bonsai. It's way too tall. But you can see a good kind of beginning of a good nibari here, and there are some gentle movement, and it go up, and I did 1 air layer here. So this would be the top of 1 tree, and so this would be almost a upright style with some gentle movement. So this would be the first tree, and the second tree actually goes straight, the movement end below the second tree, and go straight up, and then come out. I would take this as a trunk line, so here would be movement, and then move this way, and then move that way. So it would be a informal tree. We don't know if it's informal upright or informal slanting style yet, but there is already good movement in the second tree. And the third tree was air layered below where it was topped, so multiple shoots come out, which make a good material for a clump style tree. So I air layer below, right below where multiple shoots comes out. So this is the thinking of the 3 trees that I would like to make out of this this nursery stock. So I let all these shoots grow free because I need these shoots to produce the oxygen to generate the roots. So before air layer, I did not do any pruning except maybe one, which is here. It used to be 2 shoots, 2 huge shoots come out, but I worry about it creating invert taper very fast. So I cut one of the huge shoot out. but I leave this very long shoot to generate energy and generate the hormone to instruct root growth, and as a result you can see tons of roots growing in there. So I'm just going to separate this air layer and try to pot it up. This is the second day, and I successfully separate the tree into three. So obviously this is the base of the tree, and this was on top of here, and then this was the top of the tree. So basically, as planned, I separate the original nursery stock into three different parts, three different potentially three different styles of trees. The base would be almost an upright style, and the middle would be some kind of informal style, because you can see the trunk line, and these little branches are just sacrificial branches, so they are going to be cut off in the end. So here I'm just leaving it to feed the root, to generate energy and hormones to feed the root. So in the end, it would be a single trunk but with very nice movement. So I also trim off most of the branches that was used to be on the tree to reduce the stress of the roots. And you may remember there was a very long shoot, maybe a meter long shoot, and I trim it off to first node that has leaves, so that the leaves can still draw saps and also feed the roots with the hormone and energy it generated. And the third tree was the top of the tree. So it currently has 5 shoots, and it will probably become a pretty credible clump style tree if it survives the operation. So this would be the second step of air layering. The first would be just wrapping the moss around the cut that was created, and the second would be when the roots, it grow a lot of roots, separate the air layering. But here is where it's dangerous and critical, because it used to have all these air layers. It used to have a established roots to support them, to give them water and nutrition, but now they are on their own with some young roots. So this is a good time to prune, because obviously it would not be able to support the original mass of leaves with its own root system. So massively reduce the leaves would be a good thing to do to reduce the stress the new roots are under. So now it's a critical time to see if the roots can support the trees itself and continue to grow. And I will just keep watering them, and you can see they are in these net pots where you have a lot of aeration, which is going to accelerate the root growth, because for the roots to grow, it needs water, it needs nutrition, it needs hormones, but it also needs air. And the net pot is going to accelerate the root growth because the aeration. So these sphagnum moss, I actually wash the air layer and try to get as much sphagnum moss off the root as possible. And this is what I get off the root, because I don't want too much sphagnum moss to be around the root. If it keep being too wet, it may cause root rot. But there's still sufficient amount of sphagnum moss around the root. So the sphagnum moss that got washed off, I just put it on the surface of the soil. The soil is just normal bonsai soil for deciduous trees. You may not even put it into bonsai soil. Normal garden soil would work too. But now I just have to be very careful about watering the tree, and the tree probably at least the 2 air layering should stay in the shade for a while to avoid burnout of the leaves and leaf burns, and avoid putting too much pressure on the root because the water consumption in full sun. So this is the 3 tree. I did a little bit of wiring, just one, to basically bend this little branch up to make the new leader of this tree. Other than that, I didn't do much other work. All these branches are left because the other thing that I can do would be try to prune. I could try to prune off these branches because if this is the front of the tree, you can see a nice root base there, starting to have some nice root base, and this would be blocking the front, so I don't really need this. But it's okay for now because they are not big branches and it's not going to immediately cause invert taper yet, so that's fine. And this is probably a good branch, and this is probably a good back branch. So the tree is basically there, and just need to make it more compact. And this, I hope it survive, and I hope that these leaves, the leaves that's left, is going to be sufficient to support the roots. We will see next spring, basically, if the tree survived the winter. Next spring it's going to sprout new shoots, or maybe this year it may have some new shoots come out too, but it's not absolutely ideal. It's almost fall, and fall is the season for root growth. So I hoped that the thing that the tree do is to fill the container with new roots. If it's spending a lot of energy to grow leaves, then it may not gain enough energy before the leaves drop, so it's not going to help the plant in the fall, the tree should develop a lot of roots to store energy and to prepare for the winter. So hopefully it has enough time to get the root established, and I would hope that this air layer can fill the pot with roots before the winter comes. If that's the case, if it survives the winter, next spring it should sprout new shoots, and once the new shoots come out next spring, we will know definitively that the air layering is successful. So I think that's all for this video, and hopefully we will see these 3 trees, if they all survive, next spring, and we can start to see how we would further style them. Currently it's still early, very few leaves. The basic structure is already there, but I think next spring we can see how we are going to further style the tree, reduce branches, making the structure more compact, and so on. So thank you for watching, and I hope you take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.